This is news on Good News Catholic Communications. I am Betty and Lazarus. In the headlines, Vicar General Father Carl Haynes calls on the public to continue to keep their guard against the virus and adhere to outlined protocols. Bishop Clyde Harvey wants to see greater appreciation for prison officers. Tennis star Naomi Osaka says she'll donate Cincinnati prize money to Haiti. And in sports, West Indies to face England in opening game of T20 World Cup. We will have details to these and more when we return.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Welcome back. Vicar General of the Diocese of St. George's in Grenada, Father Carl Haynes, has called on Catholics and Grenadians in general to readopt the level of consciousness which was practiced in the early days of the pandemic. Father Carl Haynes pointed out that the diocese is extremely concerned about the complacency level among the populace and reminded the congregation that letting their guards down is not an option as health officials continue to report increases in COVID numbers in Grenada.
COVID is here and it will be with us for a long time. And I am imploring on all of us to play our part in ensuring that we remain COVID safe or COVID free, those of us who are here. Those of you listening, let us all play our part to ensure that our country, ourselves, are free from COVID. And how can we do that? Adhering to the COVID protocols.
In analyzing the reality of the situation in neighboring islands, the Vicar General admonished the congregation and the general public to continue to be wise in their decisions and actions.
In recent times, we've seen some interesting development in the region and also in Grenada. So we look at, for example, our neighboring countries. Dominica, who was probably about 2 months ago, in terms of the number of confirmed cases, Grenada had more than Dominica. Today, at least as of yesterday, Dominica had 900 and something confirmed cases. 700 plus are active. Here, I believe we have about 14 as of yesterday. Now, and of the 14, we would have seen something happening where people coming in, they're tested, and they're showing a negative. On their way out, they're showing positive. Now, if that continues, it is frightening for all of us.
Well, according to the latest update, there has been an increase in the number of cases in Grenada. We urge one and all to take the precautionary measures seriously. With the Atlantic season moving into its peak months, Bishop Clyde Martin Harvey is calling on parishioners and other residents to take disaster preparedness seriously. Based on the latest projections and after a record-setting start, the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season does not show any signs of relenting, and that's according to an administrator at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The prediction is that the likelihood of an above-average season still stands at about 65%. With 25% of a near normal and a 10% of a below normal season. Bishop Harvey is appealing to the diocese to make disaster preparedness a priority.
So please stock up on what you have to stock up on. Get to know the people whom you should be responsible for, the people whom you should be following. In every village, wherever there are older people living, in one or two communities, there are young people living together because parents have passed on or that kind of thing. We must look out for each other. That's the core reality, to look out for each other, to have phone numbers, available at hand, and then, of course, to know who to contact in case of an emergency.
The Upper Caribbean is currently reeling from the effects of Floyd and Grace, the latter which is hampering relief efforts in Haiti. We are well aware that the upcoming month, September, is the month to watch out for. So please let us put all mitigating measures in place before the unlikely event of a disaster. Playwright and cultural ambassador Ricardo Keynes Douglas says the absence of civic awareness from local curriculum has contributed to cultural degradation among the young population. Keynes Douglas, who is the author of 13 books and several plays, was a guest on Good News Catholic Communications tete-a-tete on Wednesday. The program department of Good News Catholic Communications placed the issue under the spotlight in light of national outcries as to what exactly is being depicted as culture throughout the island.
Carnival has taken turns and stuff, and we just have to be careful. There must be guardians. Change is constant. We know things will happen all the time. But traditions and values remain the same. And you must know where you came from to know where you're going. So it has to start with education. From the ministries, education in the schools. There should be a class on culture, on theater. And again, you have to show the young people appreciation. You have to let them have an appreciation of their culture and a respect for it. You can't just throw them into the den and say, go and jump up, that is culture. They have to understand why they're doing it from a young age. So as they grow, they can respect it and know what it's about. As in the past carnivals, in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s, carnival was about portrayal. You bring a mass, and you work, and you have a mass camp, and everybody comes and they work together, and you open a pot of food, and you sit down and you're giving jokes and you're gossiping what's happening in the neighborhood, and and it was so much fun, and that's where you pass on tradition now to the younger folks who are there helping you put this and put this. They're order the costumes, importing all the costumes. If I was the Minister of Culture, I would stop all that. But anyway, that's another story.
Keynes Douglas believes that even cultural artists themselves contribute to the breakdown by their choice of production.
You can go back to any calypso from the 1940s or 50s and 60s, 70s, and you listen to calypso and it will tell you exactly what was happening at that time. Calypsonians are the storytellers, the griots. In African term, griot means storyteller, right? Of your country, of your nation. Old Mass in the 50s and 60s it was bigger than Jab Jab. Jab Jab was 2 or 3. Old Mass used to be massive in the mornings. That was the first thing that came onto the streets at
Monday morning,
Juve. Okay. And Old Mass were the storytellers as well, because they all had their placards, and some of them were funny, some of them were political, some of them it was just hysterical, and people came out to see this. And there are a lot of people, young people, who have influence in the sense of the music, because music is a great influencer.
Yes.
Right? And the young, and whatever, the Calypsonians now, or soca artists now, I'm appalled at the lyrics. I am totally appalled when I listen to it. And I can't figure out why you have a whole year of COVID lockdown where you can be so creative.
Yes,
you can write lyrics that are uplifting, write lyrics that are still fun for people to have. But all the lyrics are so derogatory to women.
Yes.
And I can't understand why women still jump to that.
Yes. Yes.
Everything is about a jam, a grab, a joke, a this, a that. And is that all we think of? So if that's what we are thinking, therefore that's in our nation. Because you can tell a nation by the music they play.
The cultural ambassador, who has had the privilege and experience of working on the international level, is also labeling generation failure, particularly as it relates to parents playing a pivotal role in shaping the mindsets of children, as being responsible for the level of irresponsibility displayed by the younger generation. He's calling on parents and the extended family to take charge in redressing the issue.
But don't underestimate young people, right? Because I mentor some young people in the gardens every Thursday, right? They want to learn so much, you know.
Great.
Those are the people.
All is not lost.
Yes, you know, and they call me, so I find the time to work with them, and that's what we have to do with our young people. It must come from the top. The Ministry of Culture and Education. You have to have the passion. The passion is so important. You have to love it. You cannot put somebody in architecture who is a farmer. You cannot put somebody in a farmer who is an architect, you know? So you have to have people there who have vision, who want to pass on things, who live, breathe culture. And that's where creativity will start happening, and that's where the passion will happen, and that's where things will start happening. Passing on is very important to Grenadian families. I hear mothers and fathers swearing in front of their kids. It's like nothing. Like nothing. Please, just think. Think for a moment instead of saying that swear word. Just think, because the kids pick it up. They follow you. Whatever you do, they do. And your home is the grounding. You cannot expect the police to be your mother and father, the teacher to be your mother and father. And there are a lot of single homes that are doing fantastic jobs with their children.
Yes.
So you don't need a mother and a father. The incredible parents, mothers, who are doing fantastic jobs with their kids, right? And fathers in single parents' homes who are doing fantastic stuff with their kids. But it's important to be in the lives of the children. You don't need to give them 5 pairs of shoes. You keep saying, oh, I'm giving them what I didn't have when I was a little boy. Maybe you didn't have 4 pairs of shoes, but you had values.
Sad, yeah.
You had morals. You taught them how to say good morning and
to use their hands,
and do things.
around the
That's
house,
what's important.
Bishop Clyde Harvey is calling for greater awareness regarding the role of prison officers and the committed service they render in the line of duty. Bishop Harvey comments follows the state funeral of former Commissioner of Prisons, Wesley Beggs, who was laid to rest last week. Bishop Harvey highlighted the sacrifice and yeoman's service given by prison officers, and even more so in light of the pandemic.
In the midst of COVID, these men and women who had to leave their homes, the prisons were on lockdown. I don't know what arrangements the prison system made for the detention of prisoners. How often, what was the cycle? What was the roster of prison officers? Did it change? Prison officers afraid of bringing COVID back to their families, because prisons, once a case of COVID escapes in the prison, you're in trouble, because you can't isolate prisoners that well. So I want to thank profusely the prison authorities, those who were responsible for the prison system over the past year and a half. because they have done a great job.
The former commissioner, who joined the staff of Her Majesty's Prison in July 1985 and held several positions over the ensuing years, including medic officer, assistant chief officer, and assistant commissioner of prisons. Bishop Harvey is also advocating for more attention to be directed as well to retired prison officers.
You know, what are they doing? Are they being sustained in any way? I don't know if they have a pension of some sort, but I would doubt that. But you know, these are people who need to be respected, who need to be remembered, and where possible helped. You know, so I just wanted to put that on the table for the Catholic community and the national community. We salute all those who have worked in our prison system and those who continue to work in our prison system, and we hope that those in authority will give them the respect that they deserve.
Acknowledging that the prison ministry of the Diocese of St. George's in Grenada is not where the diocese would want it to be, as that ministry continues to grapple with several challenges, Bishop Harvey, however, has given the assurance that the issue will be given priority, as the Church must see itself as having an important role to play in meeting the spiritual needs of prison inmates.
We really need to see how we're going to work the prison system and help to bring the word, because there is a word of liberation that one can bring to prisoners. There is a word that says, even if you are behind prison bars, that does not mean that you cannot be free in your spirit, in the depths of who you are, you know, and that is important. And then, of course, I'm particularly concerned, and that's why I say I feel as if we failed, because there are young people going into prison, and they need to be helped. They need to be kept in touch with, you know, and there should be some ministry to them as they come out.
Marian devotees turned out in their numbers on Sunday, the fourth in the six-leg series on the observance of the solemnity of the Assumption of the Mother of the Church. Sister Juanita Berkeley of the Carmelite Sisters shared on the theme, Children in the Family. Sister Juanita admonished the congregation to embrace children from the moment of conception, as this is exactly the time they become part of the family. In quoting Pope John Paul XXIII, Sister Juanita described the family as the first central cell of human society. In expounding on how precious children are to the family, Sister Juanita labeled them as modeling everything they hear and see.
Let us think about a garden with different flowers. A garden with different flowers. And the person or persons responsible for watering the garden, for making it grow, is the one who, when the flowers bloom, will say, how beautiful you are. And when the flower does not bloom, will feel sad and lament the fact, what did I do wrong? What was I not aware of? Why is it that this did not come out the way that it should have done? When we think about children, as plants in a garden, we think about how tender they are. We think about the fact that they are a gift from God to us. We also think about our responsibility in our family to nurture a child who is going to imitate, who is going to copy all of our behaviors, all of our actions, all of our speech.
According to the principal of St. Joseph's RC Primary School, Manjulu, the family is expected to set the foundation for every child.
Children, it turns out, will actually do both. They will do what family members say and also do what they do. If even a mother or father says, I know you saw me do this, but don't do it, it's not right, in the child's mind, I trust you. You are my daddy. You're big, you're strong. You did it. I'm going to do it too. I admire you. I'm going to do it too. And in years to come, when this becomes a part of the boy or the girl, we wonder, why is he like that? Why is she like that? It is a plant we have taken, and without enough care or enough attention to how we are reaching out to them, they pick up, they model, and they play back.
In referencing children as flowers needing nurturing and love, Sister Juanita reminded the congregation that the family must always be a reflection of trust for children and highlighted the duties of adults in that regard.
Our duty then in a family is to create a kind of atmosphere of love, of openness, amidst the struggles to live, provide economically for our children, and make sure they have what they need. We must understand that a child may have all their material needs and have nothing that they truly need of love, of care, of protection, and of nurturing. Our choice as church is to look at the innocent eyes of children and decide for ourselves, where are we nurturing our children? Where do we want to lead them? What is our responsibility?
Her thought-provoking sharing on children in the family also delved into the responsibility of children to their family.
Well, the fourth commandment will say, honor your mother and your father, that the days of your life may be long in which the land the Lord has given you to live. The only commandment with a promise. And that says how important that duty of children is.
The 2021 Marian Devotion continues on the reflection on the Year of the Family dedicated by Pope Francis along with the Year of Saint Joseph. Moving on now, in addition to donating prize money to relief efforts in Haiti following Saturday's deadly earthquake, tennis star Naomi Osaka said she plans to do more. According to Osaka, I feel like I'm not really doing that much. On Saturday night, Osaka tweeted her decision to donate her prize money from this week's U.S. Open tune-up tournament in Ohio. Osaka is of both Haitian and Japanese parentage. Actually, her father is Haitian and her mother Japanese. Ranked number 2 in the world, Osaka won her second career Australian Open earlier this year, but withdrew from the French Open and Wimbledon because of mental health concerns. That's it for the major developments. A look at the field of play when we return.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Welcome back, sporting fans. West Indies will open their defense of the men's T20 World Cup title against England on the 23rd of October in Dubai. The West Indies defeated England in the 2016 final and were due to defend their title in 2020 before the coronavirus pandemic forced the tournament to be postponed. The tournament will be staged from the 17th of October to November 14th. The West Indies will take on South Africa on the 26th of October before facing two qualifying teams on the 29th of October and November 4th. The defending champions will then face Australia on the 6th of November prior to the start of the knockout stage. The final will be played in Dubai on the 14th of November. The T20 World Cup begins with the qualifying tournament, which runs from the 17th to the 22nd of October. In Group 1, West Indies, England, Australia, South Africa. And in Group 2, India, Pakistan, New Zealand, and Afghanistan. A recap of the headlines when we return. And now for a recap of the headlines. Bishop Clyde Harvey wants to see greater appreciation for prison officers. Vicar General Father Carl Haynes calls on the public to continue to keep their guard against the virus and adhere to set protocols. Tennis star Naomi Osaka says she'll donate Cincinnati prize money to Haiti. And in sports, West Indies to face England in opening game of the T20 World Cup. On behalf of all those who made this newscast possible, I'm Betty and Lazarus. Thanks for staying with us.